So I received this comment, but do you want the money for the credit card payment to sit in the checking account, or could it sit on the line of credit if one is being used until the payment of statement balance is due? Then transfer the money to pay the card out of the line to pay, so 3 or 4 days before it's owed. So when I was first starting out, I was the type of person who every single cent I could save, I would. But over the years and working with people, I found out that there's a lot, not everybody is the same. Everybody is different, which is fine. So in that question, yes, it would make sense if you're using a line of credit. And let's say I put some bills in here. So let's say you have 10 bills coming out. Those bills total $5,900. You definitely want to keep that in the line of credit, especially if you're doing velocity banking, because you don't want to be paying interest daily on that amount when you can reduce it by almost $6,000. Now, here's the thing that I've learned. No matter, I can tell anybody mathematically what makes sense. What makes the most sense mathematically is easy to tell someone that. The problem is human nature. Not everybody is the same. So I did a video on velocity banking versus itself. You could check that out. But let's say, if you have bill number 1 here coming out on the 4th, when you get paid, you want to you basically can take this required checking account amount right here, and depending on how strict you are, because especially if these payments are coming out of the checking account and they're on automatic payment, if they're on automatic payment, I personally don't ever keep anything coming out of the checking account on automatic payment. But if you do have an automatic payment, and let's say that this first $400 was due on the 4th, but you forget to transfer it, now it makes velocity banking that less effective because you're going to end up with a overdraft charge. So I do it down to the day. So if this was due on the 4th, I would transfer it on the 3rd. But you have to really be paying attention. If you're the kind of person who just kind of want it automated, you want it set up, then you keep the required checking account amount, have everything on auto pay. You never have to deal with it. There's a lot of problems with that. First, if you're not paying attention, stuff may be coming out that you're unaware of. So it just depends on the person. If you're practicing velocity banking and you're trying to max it out to its fullest, yes, don't leave this $6,000 in the required check account amount. I would always leave, a few hundred, like maybe 300, just in case. But other than that, 5,700, I would keep it in the line of credit. Always do that if you're practicing velocity banking. If you're just trying to get out of debt, you don't have a line of credit, keep it in the checking account. If you have a line of credit and you're practicing velocity banking, it depends on how well, there's some people out there that's just forgetful. They can't remember to do things. It's better to have that safety net and that buffer. So again, according to that question, yes, keep it in the line of credit. Keep a very minimal amount in the checking account. If these are on auto pay, I would at the very least take, the 4th, 8th, and 9th, maybe up until, the 4th, 6th, maybe 8th and 9th. So if we look at that, so the 4th, 6th, 8th, and 9th equals 990. So you could keep 1,000 in there and have 5,000 in the line of credit. You want to constantly keep the line of credit as low as possible. But again, it just depends on you, how well and how closely you watch it. If you're like an eagle eye, you watch it like a hawk, then I would barely keep anything in the checking account. If you know nothing's going to ever come out unless you request it to come out, then you can keep the checking account at a very minimum. I wouldn't really go lower than 300. But if you had to, you could do even 100, max out the credit, keep everything in the line of credit. On the 3rd, you'll withdraw 400. It's an easy transfer from your line of credit into your checking. That bill will come out. On the 6th, or the 5th, a day before this one, you'll transfer 300 from the line of credit into the checking. That bill will come out, and you keep that line of credit low. So I hope that answered the questions. If you have any more questions, just leave a comment on any video.